What's going on, everybody? I have quick and it'll be very simple. You'll see it as very simple because it is very simple, but I believe it's very, very useful. Is it is the concept of how to know what the daily might span to, right? So when we are looking for the daily, we want the daily to expand to specific levels, right? So we look for either external liquidity or internal liquidity. But there's also different ways to find where the market might go to, right? And we use weekly draws for that. We also use weekly profiles. So basically seeing what Monday did to determine how Tuesday should form, right? And we also see or look for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to see what Thursday might do. Uh, we also look for relevant swing. So as you can see here, relevant swing. I also want to show you how I look for the relevant swings. And we also use previous day closures, right? So we use the previous day close to see what is the likelihood of the candle continuing to trade that same direction or reversing or consolidating, right? So here I have the simple one. I have the weekly profile, weekly targets. And when we're looking for weekly targets, we want to see uh, levels that are not traded into yet, right? So like this fair value gap, the market came into the fair value gap, and the next week it opened with a gap higher. So based on how the first couple days of the weekly candle trades, you can easily determine the direction of the next day following or the day following, right? So when you go here, you have the relevant point what the weekly candle came to. Then you have the other one opening up with a gap. So using these two candles, we can see the market is going from a relevant swing for value gap to external liquidity, right? So seeing that in the weekly time frame, we can go into the daily, and since we are trading this candle, right, we always want to see the open, low, high, close, right? If we go into this relevant swing. So when you go into the daily, most likely what might happen is that the first few days of the week it might trade lower into a specific level, right? On Monday, we traded higher, but we did not go to the relevant swing. We did not trade into it. Tuesday, it just consolidated. So Wednesday, traded into a relevant level, so it can trade away from it. So seeing Wednesday closing like that with a long wick, rejecting the relevant swing right here, you can anticipate that Thursday might expand away to the relevant swing. And if we don't make it, then we want to see Friday finish the job, right? Here it's another one. So this was Friday. Monday opened up with a gap. And if you see Monday trade like that, right, like this, you want to see Tuesday continue higher. But instead, this whole week, we only consolidated. And we will consolidate if you have open if you have open highs like this, it's two failures in right here. You always want to see the bottom get manipulated, but either of the assets, right? So either NQ, ES, or the Dow, YM, so you can trade away from it. So that's how you frame these daily candles. I have another simple ones right here, which are these. So you have all these open highs, and on this week, like I said, you always want to see the open, low, and then high. That's looking for that on the daily. Here we have a Tuesday. If we're bullish, like we are, right, you want to see the bottom of the range get traded into a relevant swing, and the relevant swing in this that I'm showing you is right here, and this range is this one. So Monday and Tuesday, which is combined in one candle, because probably holiday, came into the low and then displays higher, right? So now we are trading away from this swing point into these highs and this high ultimately. So when the Monday comes, the new week, you want to see the market go down and then up. In this case, we didn't do that. We just traded higher, and the market basically just went higher. So basically, just if you don't see the if you see the market trading low, and on the weekly time frame you want it to go higher, just know that that's basically a retracement. The market is basically just retracing to go higher, to basically create a swing point to go higher. That's a way. The other way is weekly profiles, which are very we don't use it as much anymore. At least I don't. But this is a way to look for them. In this case, in this week, when you see that you have a Wednesday closing like this, you can anticipate this to be Wednesday low of the week. So it gives you more confidence looking for Thursday and Friday to continue higher, right? On weeks like this, when the market opens and the Monday is very, very close to a relevant swing, and it trades into it and it closes back inside the range, you can expect that Monday to be the low of the week, and look for the upcoming days to trade away from that Monday low, because it just manipulated the relevant swing. It doesn't need a reason to come back down, right? Again, this on this date, on this week, open on Monday, came right into the for value gap because it was right next to it, and it created the low of the week. So you always want to see where the market is at before you want to anticipate price to go to the draw. So always look for what price is and what is trading away from, because that can determine if we will see very directional moves. On this case, we still have open objectives over here, so you can expect this week to turn around some one of those days. You can determine that by the close of the daily candle. In this case, Tuesday was a very good close, but it didn't reverse. So Wednesday gave you S&T with Thursday, and it actually reversed based on the close on Thursday, right? So you once you see this Wednesday, Thursday, and we have open objective, you can expect Friday to continue higher, and we also have that high and Monday high. That's another one. Weekly profiles aren't really, we don't really use it as much, but it's also good to know because if the low of the week happened on Monday, then you can just easily an- anticipate for the following day to expand away from that low. Or Tuesday, if you see a Tuesday being created like this candle, you can anticipate the other candles to expand away because this just created a protected swing point, right? This one is, oh, this is a Friday, never mind. But once you see a Friday like this, you can expect the other week to either go down and stay above the midpoint of this candle and trade higher, or like it did here, just come back down. So that's one way. The other way is using relevant swing. The relevant swings are, I haven't marked. This is how we determine what a relevant swing is. So relevant swing is when you have a lot of space between the low of a swing point to the other swing point. So in this case, there's two purple points. Hold on, this one's supposed to be here on this low. So there's a lot of space between that low to this low. So that is a relevant swing. A relevant swing is because if you don't see price give you manipulation in this low, then you can expect price to continue lower into the next relevant swing. And if you notice, every time those relevant swing they get manipulated, right, between this one and this one, when they get traded into and it manipulates, it goes away. Like it goes away really far and fast. It gives you the expansion day that you like to see. Another one is remember we're trading into these highs right here because we're trading away from this protected swing. So this swing point is very far away from the next swing point. So that makes it a relevant swing. So whatever happens here is important. So what happened here? Manipulated, and the next following days traded away from it. Another swing point is this one right here. So this is a swing point because the next swing point is very far away, which is all the way up here. So whatever happens when the market trades into this gap or this high, it'll go away. It'll give you a very important reaction. It'll give you a very important reaction. Another one is this swing point and that swing point. So whenever you see price trade into it, again, it goes away. This one it didn't do much, but you know what I'm saying. Another swing point that I have is this one and this one. This one might seem tricky, but the only reason, obviously, when you have the market trading away from this swing point, you want to see it come to these highs. Like you want to see it, but you can also expect a reversal or a retracement from these high because it's very far away from the next high. So whatever happened here is valid because that high is far away from this high. Yeah, sure, you want to trade away from it. Like you want it to go to this low instead and trade away from it, but it gave the reversal and this high, and it's a relevant swing because it's far away from this other high. Another one is this high, this low and this low. It's far away, so whatever happened here, I'll give you a good reaction. Another one is right here, this low on Thursday with the S&T. It's very far away from this low, so whatever happens here will be relevant. This reversal far away from this one, so it doesn't create a failure swing. So this swing point is relevant to trade away from. The other one is just previous day closure. This one might seem a little messy, but just hear me out, okay? So all-time highs, you can expect price to reverse from it based on how it closed. So it closed all the way at the high, right? You see this white candle closed all the way near the high. So you can expect the other candle following day to give you a reversal. If it trades into it, creates a small wick, expect a big candle down. The next one is using the midpoint of expansion candle or big candles. You mark it from high to low. You can expect the next price to stay below the red line and continue the trend lower into this high or this fair value gap. A relevant swing is also created with S&T. So if YM trades into these lows, you can expect I mean if oh shit, I'm talking about daily closure, my bad. If you see a daily candle close like this and it gave you a, SMT, you can trade it higher into this high, even if it looks like it is a rejection candle to the downside, right? To trade to the downside. But when it closed all the way near the open, you can expect price to come low and take the liquidity, but it happened with YM instead. So it is a fair value gap, and it also happened inside. It's an S&T, and it happened inside that fair value gap. Expecting the next price to continue using the midpoint to look for to mechanically identify the small retracement into the range of the previous day, so it can give you the low of day, so it can continue higher above the midpoint. Again, below the midpoint, below the midpoint. Here, if it comes into a relevant swing point in price, a relevant level, you can expect price to reverse to give you the reaction. If the candle closes like this, you can either look for it to continue lower, or you can expect price to give you the manipulation and come back into the range. And if it closes like this, that means that it is a manipulation, and you can look for the next candle to expand using the upper half of the candle to mechanically identify the small wick or the small retracement. Again, small retracement, expansion. Look at this candle, how it closed. Closed very well, it didn't do much. So the next candle, if we're going higher, will most likely manipulate the low to expand away, which it did in this scenario, and expand away. Again, manipulation at the low because YM closed very close to it, expanded away. Now we are here at the all-time high, looking to see what happened here. Is it gonna respect the midpoint and trade back into the range, or what is it gonna do? But yeah, those are simple ways to look for the direction of the next daily candle, and you can do the same thing on the 4-hour, which is what the GXC model does. It gives you a framework to use to identify what the candle might displace to based on the overnight price action, which is the same thing that we were doing here. yeah, here we're looking for the weekly, but we're also looking for the daily inside the weekly candle, which you can use the 4 hours to do the same thing for the daily candle. And then you can do the same thing on the hourly for the 4 hour candle, which is the fractal model. But anyways, uh, I hope you liked it. See you later.